Hey, welcome to another episode of Electrical Theology. I am your host, Charles, and this is Esoteric Life Coaching. And I want to say welcome to all my galactic brothers and sisters out there, all my dimensional friends, and all my Earth friends as well. I appreciate you hanging in with me each day, watching these videos, and learning something about the universe. Here we try to explore the universe and understand it from a cosmological, a universal, an esoteric. And again, these are all words, but we're trying to understand from different perspectives. When we get and gain different perspectives about the universe, it helps us here on Earth and in here in our minds and our physical bodies be able to better communicate what it is we want in this Earth and how to attain better choices and how to then boldly demand what it is you want the universe to do for you. If you have a weak signal or weak constitution or weak psychology or state of mind, then that's exactly what the universe hears. I don't mean you need to yell and scream, but that's fine, it amps it up. But if you can within yourself become esoterically bold within, you can then boldly state what it is you claim to have on this earth. What that does is cause the energies of that to turn into this, to turn into Shambhala hierarchy. Those ions get arced, and then it comes into the God realm, and then the God realm then finally manifests into these 7 frequencies which us humans are in. Now, having these 7 realms is that we're mastering these 7 realms or 7 frequencies. And each frequency has red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet within them, although there is a dominant red, a dominant yellow, and so forth. But in that red, there's also minor, all the other colors of the rainbow, right? Because these are all different separate frequencies. So if we're not yet trained on how to understand jumping an octave from one octave, like singing, right? You can, a great singer can go from one octave to another octave instantly. But others, when they learn, they have to go through, what do they call it? Arpeggios. I think if that's the correct pronounce, someone correct me. But they got to go through A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But eventually, you sing long enough, you can jump from one octave to the other octave. And rare people who can jump up 2 octaves, or if you're playing an instrument on a piano, I can simply easily just go from this middle C to high C. That's a whole octave, right? For what purpose? It depends on the song I want to play, right? And in the universe, it's whatever your verse is. If you want to jump up to a higher frequency, are you trained? Do you have the capacity to handle that new energy that you're about to tap into and communicate with? If you cannot communicate with yourself with love and honor and respect to yourself or to your fellow earth kind, then there's no way in hell you're going to do it for those out there. And they will abruptly stop you from trying to communicate. Now, there are some that are very patient, but then there's others who are not. Right? If you just go running down a crowded street yelling racial slurs, someone's going to hit back at you. And so your ignorance is much like a cosmic slur. Some just won't have the time. It doesn't mean they're evil. It's just you're going to be shown that this isn't the proper way. This isn't the proper channels. All right. So what I'm teaching here is the esoteric way, going through the proper channels so you can communicate with those outside of us, whatever the purpose you choose to. If you want to get a global event, if you want to know what's going on in different planets, if you feel you're from another planet homeland like Mars or the Pleiades or Orion or wherever, if you feel you're from one of these and you just don't fit here in the Earth, right? This is how you communicate and get back in communicating with your home world, right? And is it safe to communicate? Because there's so many galactic wars out there, just as there are on planet Earth. Just because they're off-world doesn't mean that they're any more evolved than us when it comes to disputes or war, right? So in Thursday class, we talk about the realms of expanding consciousness. We need to expand our thoughts, our mind, our hearts. We need to expand these realms within ourselves. And once you expand it in yourself, then you can start practicing expanding it, right? Going to the expand. Right? Because that expanded or expressed, it pressed itself out. And how do we communicate with ourselves or our that self? Right? And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, and if you're new to this channel, go ahead and back and watch a lot of the videos I've already posted. I'm not going to put them up here. It's up to you to do your homework and go back and look at some of these. We'll be having private classes later on really delving into this deep stuff. I will sort of go deep and superficial, but For those who are going to be part of my membership clubs, they'll get the deep stuff, guys, but you'll still be able to get a lot of heavy, useful information, right? Because you got to pay the price out there, guys. You're going to pay with the nutrients of your body. Because when you open up to these realms, it's going to burn through the nutrients in your body. Your potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, all this stuff, guys. It's going to burn through it. And if you're not careful, then you'll wake up the next day with a headache. It's not unusual for have a lot of pressure on the headache when you open up to a new realm. That's fine. You just need to hydrate the next day because you're not used to it. Just as you went the first day of track, we had to run a couple miles, and I'm huffing and puffing, and then the next day your legs are sore as all get out, right? Because we weren't used to it. So today I'm just going to help you understand a little deeper of the 3, 6, and 9s. Right, and why these realms are so important. Now, we've gone over this chart a few times, especially this basic chart down here, this earth energy. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. There's 3 stages to each realm, or there's 9 stages to each realm. This whole, as a whole, is a realm. We'll call it the earth realm, the mechanical realm. Right, within there are 9 frequencies. Now, don't worry about 8s and 9s, we'll talk about them, but it's a different construct. In one sense, because you can start mixing colors like Crayola crayons, you can mix a couple colors and come up with a new color. Well, 8 and 9 are sort of mixtures, but in the same sense, when you mix all the colors, it ends up with a blackness, right? A void, a darkness. Now, the darkness isn't evil; it's just where that is. So you get yourself back to that after when you start reaching 8s and 9s, and that's in the hierarchy in Shambhala realms, right? It's where ions are being formed for the first time. And again, if you're new, go back and watch the videos. If y'all who have been with me for a while know what I'm talking about, you'll understand that with no problem. And if you don't, definitely write down a comment and tell me what I need to explore more for y'all. Again, I'll be having PDFs, downloads, and all that good stuff later. But for now, this is all foundational work for us to get out there to the universe and claim back our positions on homelands. Right? Positions are positing ions. We need to connect our energy back to our homeland so we can communicate with them and get an update of what's going on. Just like today, in September, there's a hurricane coming around Florida, right? And if you live in a different state, you want to call your loved ones and make sure they're okay, right? What's going on? Give me the update. Give me the hour, minute by minute, right? And so you can contact these on the other side or other realms. Say, hey, in essence, what's your weather out there like that? A war. What's your mind war weather out there? Right? Are y'all okay out there? Right? Is it safe to communicate, or is someone tapping into my frequency? Right? So we need to understand everything about the realms. And so basically, when you die, unzip from this monkey suit, then you'll go into a heaven. And we talked about the 7 heavens, right? So if you're a red person or a yellow person, and we talked about that in past videos, if you are that person, then you'll cross over back into that same color at a higher note. Again, in yellow, there's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So you may have come in as yellow, but in a red microtone. But as you did your work and took responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and emotions, then you went ahead and amped up a couple stages or steps. And then when you cross over, you still may be in yellow, but you're up higher. That makes sense? And then when you're ready to reincarnate or reiterate, as I like to say, then you'll go into the ancestral realm. Now, you can stay in the ancestral realm or reiterate or come back into a body, right? If you didn't feel you finished up enough or you want to do more, then come back on down. That's fine. I go to Disney World for a day. I can't see everything in Disney World in one day or experience everything, right? I want to go back 2 or 3, 4 times a week, 2 weeks, see all the parts. And again, we have the galaxy, and then or the ancestors, then we sort of have the galactic family. And then again, we can go into the etheric dimensional divines. We're not going to spend that time today. What I do want to get into is the 3, 6, and 9s. And specifically the God, the hierarchy, and the Shambhala. And notice that they're in between each one of these because they're stages. And in each one of these stages we talk about, guys, are just frequencies. Just like notes on a piano or guitar or any musical instrument, right? E, A, C, B, D, whatever you can call it, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 5, 4 is the blues, right? So I can have red, green, blue. Bum, 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 bum. It's the blues, right? Every blues and rock and roller started with those 3 notes that create their entire repertoire of music, right? And that then gets us into the muse on the bigger scheme of things, right? This is the muse, the second step, inspiration, desperation, and we'll talk about that. We've talked about that on Wednesdays and Tuesdays, so I'm not going to go back into it. Watch those classes and you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, understanding, why do we want to know the realms? Because they're patterns, people. They're just patterns, right? I'm drawing you a pattern here. Just like a sine wave goes up, down, up, down, up, down. And these sine waves, depending on how close together or far apart the humps and the valleys are, will then determine who it is that we're communicating with, right? Are we communicating with the realm of threes, or the realm of sixes, or the realm of nine? And each one of these realms are families. Yes, there are 1, 2 families, and then 3 a major of those families. So much like our government, 3 bodies of government here in the U.S., your judicial, elected stuff, and then those bodies then have other bodies answer to them, right? Smaller bodies. So the 3, 6, and 9s in each realm, there's 3, there's 6, and 9. Specific stages in each one, but the 3, 6, and 9s are major. But in between, you have 1, 2, excuse me, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Right? We'll talk about those later, because sometimes you can just simply jump over these. All right. So hopefully you're following this, guys and gals. My alien brothers and sisters, if I got it incorrect, definitely correct me, and I'll be more than happy in our next communication. So let's go over here for a second and look at these. And why do I just say 3, 6, and 9? Because as we go up these grids and we keep adding 3s, it all comes back down to 9. Right? So I can say, okay, there's 3 stages, 6 stages, 9 stages, 12. But then when you have 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3. So we go back to the 3. I can add 3 more, right? And then 12 plus 3 is 15. 1 plus 5 equals 6. And then I can add 3 more to 12. That's 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. 3, 6, 9. You see how the pattern, I don't care how many numbers come before it. So I want to do something with y'all right now just to show you that I can read minds, right? And I can basically predict patterns, and that's what I'm doing. So reading minds is just understanding the frequencies and the patterns of which the frequencies are coming in. So if my mind's open to receive something faster than you, and I'm going to get the information first, which then I'll be able to tell you what a score is that a game will be, or I can tell you that we're going to get hit by a hurricane in 3 days, right? Because if you're not attuned or in tune to the weather, then you're not going to feel it. Or if your brain will feel the low pressure, I know something's coming. If my lower back hurts, then I know that there's an earthquake happening. And I can tell you, is it a 3, 6, or 9, right, on the Richter scale. But that's another conversation for another time, guys. So basically, each 7 and 9, again 8 and 9 we'll talk about later, but 7 planes, in each plane there's levels, stages, realms, dimensions, and 3 levels equal 1 stage. So 1, 2, 3, this is a stage within a realm, right? Just one of these are a realm, remember? And why do we want to know this? Because this is a realm. This has 3, 6, 9 in it, right? If you go back to our classes earlier. So within 3 stages is 1 stage, 2 stage, 3 stage. There's 3 steps to each stage. And even there's 3 stages equal 1 realm. Is that making sense now? So 1 realm is one of these realms that contain 9 steps. Again, 7 or 9. And then so 3 realms equal a dimension or dimensions ions, and 3 dimensions equal a man's ion. So we get higher and higher. So we can say there's 3 realms with 7s in them, and that equals 21. 2 plus 1 equals 3. I can go, there's 6 realms with 7. Right, so this is a realm. I can go to all the realms and I can multiply. 6 realms times 7 equals 42. 4 plus 2 equals 6. And I can say, well, there's 9 realms. 9 times 7, because red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, equals 63. 6 plus 3 equals 9. 3, 6, and 9. So you're following that there's a pattern here, guys. So what I want you to do is take any 2 numbers. Right? We'll keep it either. I can go up to 5, 10, 20, 1,000, and we'll end up that I'll be able to predict or answer what I'm about to do. I'll give you your answer before you even come up with it. No, we'll wait. So I want you to pick any two numbers. I don't care what numbers they are. They could be 24, 45. I don't care. Right? So take any number. I'm going to use 45 for an example. If I take 45, I separate it and add 4 and 5, I get 9. Right? 9 minus 45 is what? Is 36. 3 plus 6 is 9. Right? So that was mine. So you pick a number, and I'll be able to tell you what that answer is, broken down, numerologically speaking. Right? So do that math, pick whatever number you have. I don't care if it's 2, 3, then you add those two numbers together. 2 and 3 equals 5. 5 minus 23, right? You'll have an answer. And then if that answer needs to go down further, we add it, and then you'll end up, I'm going to tell you what your answer is right here. Ready? Your answer is 9. Some of you may be amazed right now. I'm going, wait, how do you do that? What's he doing? Hold on, let me go back, right? Go back and watch what I'm talking about. Every number in the universe breaks down into 9. Now, for us who've been in this business, or if you're watching this video, you probably already know this, and that's fine. Because we can play with this 9, but everything always breaks down to 9 in the universe. I can quit math by eliminating anything that equals 9. If there's a 6 and 3 in an equation, I can take the 6 and 3 out, and I'll still end up with 9. Right? Because even when the number 9 itself is not there or not present, it's still there. Right? So for an example, we're just adding 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? We add each one of these up, we get 39. Right? These together get 39. So 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 minus 39 is 36. 3 plus 6 is 9. It'll always break down to 9. Every number in the universe, I don't care how many millions of numbers, that will always reduce back to 9. So this is why it's very important to understand 9s, and we'll talk more about them, but we need to understand 3, 6, and 9, because once it comes to Friday class of manifesting, we're able then to understand the patterns of 3, 6, and 9 to get our ions formed and come through back into this realm. Make sense now? So what I was talking about earlier is that I can take out any of the numbers that equal 9. 4 and 5 equals 9. I can X them out. There's the number 9, I can X it out. Right? This is doing quick math. So instead of having to add each one of these up, I can easily right now knock out 4 and 5 and 9. I'm left with 6, 7, 8. I can add that up quickly in my head, and boom, I got a reduction number. Right? So we know 6, 7, 8 equals 21. Right? 2 and 1 equals 3. Or 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 21. Right? 2 and 1 equals 3. So I can take the 21 minus the 3, I equal 18. 1 and 8 is 9. It always breaks down, guys. So a lot of stuff that people call psychic, they may not know it, but they're in tune with a pattern, or they're open to a frequency that this information comes through quickly. Right? They may not know how they're doing. They get the answer, but they can't show you their work. That's how I used to be as a kid in math. I remember in 3rd and 4th grade, I can do it in my head. Long division, multiplications, anything, algebra in my head, but I'll show the work. My brain knew it, but I couldn't explain because I didn't have the verbiage. So that's what realms of expanding consciousness is. It's learning how to communicate or create the words we need at the time we need them, to be able to communicate with love and respect and compassion, not only to yourself, but to others and our galactic brothers and sisters out there, guys. All right? Does that make sense? Is that helping you out some today? That's where we're going to end it today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're new to this channel, and if you stayed throughout, please like, subscribe, share, thumbs, notification, all that good stuff, guys. And for those who are continually watching, I appreciate you, loving each and every one of you, and I'll see you tomorrow.